This is a good question. Ryan asks, "My son's musical is coming up, and I'd like to get a few shots on stage. They'll be back in the back dark room. What settings would you recommend? Aperture priority? They normally shoot manual."
I'll be in the back dark room. What setting? I guess is it for of the performance or of behind the scenes,
I,
like as they're
I'm
getting
guessing
ready?
Him
on
on
stage.
stage.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
stage,
Oh,
like
oh,
their son
oh.
on stage. So how do you shoot like from a big distance, a big bright stage, basically with people on it?
If I were doing that, and I have done that, and I used to do that when I was in high school, I had to shoot a lot of the plays and stuff. I'd
So
say if you can get it 70 to 200 and aperture priority, and then just understand and know how far you can push your ISO, because it will be bright on stage, and you probably still want to have a high shutter because they'll be moving and stuff. But being able to adjust your aperture on the fly and let the camera do everything else so you're not thinking about it or missing a moment.
I mean, if
I
it's a sorry, Sam. If it's like on stage though, like the lighting is gonna be fairly consistent, right? So would you just for like a
It
play,
depends
for
on the
like a
scene,
musical?
but
Well,
it depends on what's
a
happening.
musical denotes dancing, like
Mm,
big changes in lighting.
maybe,
Uh,
yeah,
like
that's true.
very hot. Like the thing with theater lighting is they're park hands, right? So it's like, and source fours, they're like harsh lighting all at
Yeah,
once and then fall off immediately because there's no
yeah.
like diffusion in light. So yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say, right? Like it'd be cool if you
Uh,
could watch a fitting rehearsal.
yeah, I would say if you can go to a rehearsal or talk to your son and say, okay, what is like your moment, or what are the moments you have on stage, and know when those are going to be,
Yeah.
because you want to be there for when he's like front and center or going to be in that spotlight, like in that main thing.
Yeah.
Um, you're shooting with a 75 to 300, so I'm assuming that's like a 4.5 to 5.6 or a 4.5 to 6.3. So what I would do beforehand is take your camera. If you know your camera, let us know right now. But go to 300, which will probably be at f6.3 or so. Put it at shutter speed 121 over 125, which I would probably say that's as slow as I would go. And then take a bunch of test shots at ISO 400, 800, 1600, 3200. Put them in your computer and see how it looks. Because yeah, rehearsals, they won't have all the stage lighting
Yeah,
going.
I
It's
mean,
definitely
or
house
just
light.
take some practice shots at the very beginning when the lights are down. Also, like if you are using aperture priority mode, make sure you're comfortable with the exposure compensation because your camera might try to. It might be like a solo. I don't know what the lighting is. I'm just imagining like maybe it's just like a single spotlight on your son or whoever, but your camera is going to want to brighten everything up. So you might need to drop your exposure compensation so that you're not, the camera is not trying to overcompensate, raise the ISO to get everything in exposure or brighter
If
exposure.
If you do aperture priority though, go into your camera and figure out for the ISO, if it's going to be automatic, you can typically set the maximum ISO that you want it to
Mm-hmm.
go,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and make sure you set that. Make sure you say, okay, you can go from 100 to 6400 or whatever it is. Like test your camera, know what ISO is going to look good. With a Canon T7, I probably wouldn't go beyond 3200, but
Mm-hmm.
again, I would test it. Um, and then also with the shutter speed for aperture priority, you can go to the menu settings and select the slowest shutter you would allow it to go, which I wouldn't go less than 1/60th, realistically, probably 1/100th, just to try and get crispy if they are moving and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you should have plenty of light. It's a play. It's not like it's not a dark film
Dark
set or something like
deception.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.